Hello, friends. Today you will see the video on Saturn and I tried my best to make you enjoy the study of astronomy. Saturn, the most interesting planet in the solar system. Saturn is one of the most fascinating planets in our solar system, and that's probably because we see it so infrequently. Even though it's known as the ring planet, Saturn actually has 64 moons. That's more than any other planet in our solar system. Saturn's moons and rings help us learn about its history and composition, as well as how our solar system formed and evolved over time. But why does Saturn look like this? And what can we learn from it? Let's talk about a preview of the beautiful weirdness of Saturn. Awe-inspiring, beautiful, and terrifying. All these words could be used to describe Saturn. When we peer at Saturn through our telescopes, what we see is a wispy blue and gold ball. We can see its magnificent rings encircling it as well as its many moons orbiting it, including Titan. With all that beauty though comes danger. The hexagon-shaped storm clouds we observe on Saturn are 6 times the size of Earth. They spin across the planet's north pole at speeds of 320 miles per hour. Saturn ring system. Scientists are still studying the different layers and composition of Saturn's rings, but what they do know is that the outer portion of these bands consists of chunks of ice and dust. These particles are made up for at least 3 main ingredients: the ice, the water molecules, and the silicates. Interestingly enough, one type of ring is mainly composed of dry ice which only exists as a gas on Earth. This shows how these rings might behave if they were located around a different star such as our own. Saturn size. It is a gas giant, meaning it is primarily composed of hydrogen and helium. If Saturn were placed into our Sun, its volume would be 7 times as big. Interestingly, while Saturn is nearly 9 times bigger than Earth, it only has 1/3 of our planet's mass. Though Saturn's atmosphere looks relatively clear, this isn't really the case. Instead, a lot of its hydrogen and helium has been compressed at high pressures, enough to condense. Saturn moons. Among Saturn's 63 known moons, Titan is the only one that has a substantial atmosphere. In addition to its oceans of liquid methane and ethane, it has large rivers, lakes, and seas. To give you an idea of how large Titan is, if Earth were a nickel, Titan would be about as big as a can of soup. Interestingly enough, all these liquids are organic. Titan may be what scientists think ancient Earth looked like before life evolved and oxygen came into our atmosphere. Early discoveries and influences on scientific development. In 1610, when Galileo first looked through his telescope, he was able to see that Saturn had rings. He also noticed its moons and took accurate measurements of its distance from Earth. This was one of the first observations about Saturn. Because of its ringed appearance, early astronomers speculated that Saturn could be a second sun near the Earth. They also noted that it moved differently than other planets, moving westward like our moon rather than eastward like most other planets do today. From those observations and speculations, early astronomers began to speculate about the nature of the solar system, that Earth might be surrounded by concentric spheres or orbitable spheres made up of 2 or more different materials. Astronomers believed there were planets on each sphere as well as inside them. Facts, stats, and trivia. This intriguing planet is named after the Roman god of agriculture and wealth. It is also known as Japetus and was one of the 8 ancient planets, which were later changed to 7 by Nicolaus Copernicus. Saturn orbits the Sun once every 29.5 years and has a density that is less than water. If it were made of solid material, it would be flattened into a disk with a radius 20% larger than Earth's diameter. It is unusual because instead of being mostly gases like Jupiter or mostly ice, like Neptune, Saturn's composition combines both. Much more to explore on your own. The planetary object that we call Saturn is a giant ball of gas and is the only planet with rings. You may not know this, but Saturn is actually over 3 times as wide as Earth. One of Saturn's most interesting features are its powerful storms. These storms are huge, dark, and shaped like circular wind patterns. Similar to Jupiter's storm called Red Spot Jr., these storms were first discovered by NASA spacecrafts taking pictures of Saturn's North Pole region. One of Saturn's coolest features is its unique spin pattern. Unlike all other planets, it spins on its side with an axis that stays tilted 27 degrees toward the Sun. It rotates once every 10 hours. Now we are going to talk about the interesting thing in this video, which is NASA missions. Launched on October 15, 1997, NASA's Cassini spacecraft has studied Saturn since arriving at its destination 4 years later. 3 times, it has swung close to Earth, Venus, and Mercury once as each planet was being heated by the Sun. This unusual geometry allows scientists to learn more about these planets' atmospheres and where they begin and end. And the amazing adventures keep coming. On December 31, 1999, Cassini plunged through Saturn's outer atmosphere, racing so fast it broke out of the planet's gravity field and kept going until March 10th of this year when it looped high over Saturn's north pole for a gravity assist heading back to Earth for a flyby on September 11. How Saturn differ from other planets. People often say that Saturn is one of the most interesting planets in our solar system, and with good reason. Saturn is unlike any other planet because it's made up of gas rather than rock and water like Earth, Jupiter, and Venus. This means that it's different from all the other planets. Its atmosphere changes color depending on what gases are there. Plus, a day on Saturn is much longer than a day on Earth. Every day on Saturn lasts for about 10 minutes, 10 half hours long. Hope you enjoyed this video. For latest videos, subscribe our YouTube channel, The Latest Astronomy. Press the bell icon for latest videos. Goodbye.